Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Love and Relo. I'm your host today, Jason Miller, and I can't believe I'm here, but I'm actually flipping the script, and we've got a special guest today, Mr. Ben Cross, Vice President of Business Development for University Moving and Storage. How you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing great, Jason. I just want to thank you so much for having me. I've watched the show for a long time, and I really am a big fan of what you and Janet do here. And I really love the space that you guys are filling right now in the relocation industry. So it's really an honor to be here.
Well, hey, I just wanted to tell you, Ben, I actually called around for guests today. I actually made several phone calls within the relocation space. I couldn't get anyone to call me back. I mean, Love and Relo, I guess, isn't that big, but thank God you called me back. So anyway, no, I'll kidding aside. Really excited to be here. Go ahead.
Well, welcome to my world, man. You know how hard it is to put people on the docket every day. You know, it's something else.
Yes, sir. Well, no, I'll kidding aside though. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to have this opportunity to get in your head a little bit and understand a little bit more about what makes Ben Cross tick. Couple things I wanted to say before we get started. So number one, everyone, please help me out. Please ask questions. Shoot them over to me. Help a brother out. You know, I need some help here today. I am a rookie. I'm doing the best I can. So if it's a little choppy, you know, hopefully I get a little grace today. But I'm excited to be here. We're going to give a couple minutes for people to log in. And as people are logging in, I just want to give a shout out to Janet Turner, the producer, the one who is behind and makes everyone look good here, especially Ben. But for today, it's me because she called me this morning.
I mean, look how much worse I look now when you're in charge, right? So, I mean, obviously it's her. It's all her.
So, I mean, the biggest thing you got to see, first of all, flipping the script, look at how I'm dressed, okay? When was the last time you saw me wear a tie?
I feel like you just opened that shirt tie package today.
Yeah, see how tight this is?
I think it still has the creases in the shirt. Like, I think, yeah, you just unfolded that today, I think.
This is not. Oh yeah, we got some people logging in.
We got a lot of comments coming in here.
All right,
you might want to check in with the people.
Hey, I see Mary Beth Nitz. What's up, Mary Beth? How you doing? Alicia Scott Weirs, our old friend from here in Detroit. Vinny Valverde. He's got some fun stuff there.
What is Vinny saying over there?
Vinny's saying Ben is completely screwed today. Hard questions coming your way. Sarah Ben, help me out here. I don't know the last name.
Sarah
David. We got Janet Turner is the bomb. I got a shout out from Alicia, so profesh. Thank you.
You know what? So Alicia was, I think, how we got introduced. Or she was there the first time. Not the first time we met. She was there. The first time I met Alicia, you were there. That's what happened. Because you were rolling off the DRRC board. And I was rolling on, and it was the board dinner to say goodbye to the old board and hello to the new board.
Yes.
Alicia was on the board, and it was your last hurrah, and it was my first hurrah, and that's, yeah.
You know, actually, that is a wonderful segue into what I was going to talk about first and how we met, because the funny thing is, Ben, I don't think I can remember. I think I have an impression of you.
Well, that means it was probably at ERC then.
Well, no. Hey, first of all, I saw my wife on here, so let's keep it clean. Brooke said she had nothing to do with this look, by the way. You know, we're trying to get the Ben Cross slick back hair. I've got the COVID hair. I mean, I haven't had a haircut in like 4 months, dude. So yeah, this is the best I could do today. Hopefully,
it's looking all right, man. It's looking okay.
Yeah, you like it?
With it?
Okay.
Brooke, how do you think? What do you think about Jason's look, Brooke?
Yeah, we'll see what she says. Kelly Guerin checking in from Hot.
What are the people saying? Yeah,
let's see. Vinny's giving me a shout out. I'm looking great. Matthew Odick, Ben, you're running for an IAM board position.
When am I running for an IAM board position?
I don't know.
I don't like to run, Matthew. So I don't know. Maybe they'll give it to me. I don't know.
Oh, did you see what my wife said there? She gave me I look sexy no matter what. Thanks, honey. I appreciate that. I didn't even have to pay you for that comment.
Yeah.
Mark Muss from Switzerland. Wow, we got people from Switzerland. Come on, you got a far reach, man.
Yeah, we got people from
Felicia
Dubai.
Osorio.
Matthews from Denmark. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know your audience like you do, so I'm gonna have you give me a little assist there. But John Zilk, I know John. John's saying we got a little 8 miles. John, thank you. We're from the D, here in Detroit, so always good for the 8 mile shout out. Ben's palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
That's just condensation, actually.
Yeah, Ben's got an alcoholic beverage today. I do not.
Yeah,
it would have been ugly if I did that. Anyway, so Ben, first time we met, I remember meeting you, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about my first impression of you because I was like, who is this guy? He's dressed to the nines. He's a big talker. I mean, and by the way, I had to talk him into this a little dress down here, just so you guys know. I know he likes to look all dolled up.
What was that? What was that about, Jason? Why did you feel like it was important for me to not wear a suit today?
Listen, we're reversing the roles, my friend. I mean, this is you're at home, the quarantine. I mean, I know you've been going into the office, but I want people to get to know Ben on a little bit different level today. And I felt like take off your suit, take off your cape, sit at home, I love the hat. I know you're big into hats. And I think this just kind of allows you to get a little more comfy. I didn't want you being at your office all buttoned up. So hopefully we get to see you in the raw a little bit.
I do like it.
Yeah. Alicia's comment, little day drinking.
You want to know, somebody was asking me what's in the glass. Four Roses bourbon. It's a, affordable, bourbon. So that's what's in the glass.
Well, Christy wants to know if you ever plan to work outside of relocation. Hey, Christy, how you doing today?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I don't know. I don't think I would only work in relocation and global mobility. I think it would be very hard to leave the family that I've adopted in the industry. I love you guys so much, and I mean, Love and Relo is kind of a double down on that. And so, I think it'd be hard to extricate myself from the industry. But I'd be open to it.
Cool. I just want to back up for 1 second. Talk a little bit about why we're doing this interview. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to comment on that. So, I look at Ben every day, as many of you do out there, and I see, how long have you been doing this show for now, Ben?
6 months.
6 months, day in, day out. I mean, you ramped it up big time during this quarantine. And I got to say, a lot of people were talking about the Michael Jordan documentary and this as a close first and second distraction from the quarantine. So seriously, man, it takes a lot of stamina, takes a lot of, work on your part. I'm really impressed with how you do it day in and day out and get all these guests. And I was just thinking, God, Ben needs his day in the sun, honestly. And I said, let's interview Ben. I wasn't expecting me to be the one interviewing you, but that's kind of how it turned out. And that's cool. I'm really happy about it.
You got to be the change you want to see, man. So, I mean, if you want to see something happen, you got to go do it, right? So Jason, I applaud your initiative. You're a man of action. And we were talking about this, and you talked me into it. And I'm happy to be here answering whatever questions you have for me.
Yeah, I'm really happy to do it. Jamie Masler, how long did it take Ben to polish off those cannolis?
So Jamie, I got those cannolis at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. 9:45 Eastern. I got those cannolis. They were delivered to my office by Shelby, and they were air freighted, and they were in styrofoam. It was beautiful, and there were the shells and the cream, and it was all separate. It was just beautifully done from Termini Brothers in Philly. And I held on to them until lunch, till about 12:30, and then I went downstairs and I made cannolis for the team. And we went through the chocolate chips first, and then the couple chocolates, and so I had possession of those cannolis for about 3 hours.
3 hours.
Very
nice. Oh, Andrew Lee By the way, Andrew Lee piping in, Love and Relo better than The Last Dance.
Man,
Oh,
Andrew Lee is a great young man. He's a little misguided, obviously, but a great young man with a bright future. We actually had the opportunity to partner on a project actually at Wayne State. Him and a team did some development work, and it was really cool. So I was actually a part of his senior project at Wayne State.
that's awesome, man. That's really cool. So, kind of back to what I was saying before, you are on every day you do this. It is not hard or not easy, I'm sorry, to do
Yeah,
that. And it's
yeah,
difficult to be on.
yeah. It's crazy.
So, as you know, I'm married to a therapist. So I'm going to do a little therapizing here. Okay. I want to know how are you really, Ben? Like, how are you? How are you holding it
How am I
together?
really? Like my psychology, how am I holding it together? You
Yeah. I
know,
mean, it's
you
been a weird time, man.
Yo, for real, right? Honestly, this week has been really tough. This week has been really tough with um, the grieving that many of us are doing right now. Over
Hmm.
the police brutality and the racial inequality that we have in this country. Um, and it's been tough, and I've had to reach out to some friends and have some conversations. Shout out to a few people checking in here, who have kind of helped me through this a little bit. Lynn Greenberg's checking in right here. She called me.
Yeah.
Elena, Thomas, Hosea, and they've kind of taught me through some of it, and I hope that I've been a source of a source of support for them as well. But then, I mean, on like the broader than just this week, I mean, this is a lot of work. But I think that
How do
it's
you
a lot.
manage your stress, Ben? I mean,
Yeah,
like, how do you manage
I
it? What do you
drink a
do?
lot. I drink. I eat my emotions. I basically engage in a lot of unhealthy behaviors. I've taken up smoking again. So basically just a lot of things like that. I probably should run and do the opposite of those things, but I get a rush from doing this stuff though too. Like I get off of this show, and you'll have this feeling too when we're done with this, and we'll talk about it, and
Yeah.
and, and it'll be like, yo, how did that feel? Oh, that felt great. How did that feel for you? Oh, that was great. That was so amazing. Thanks so much for the opportunity, because it really is like one of the best parts of my day, every single day. And so the fact that I do it every day, it's like kind of, yeah, is it a chore to prepare? Is it a chore to book people? Are people really squirrely and weird, and sometimes they flake out on you or whatever? They have all these
Yeah.
weird demands like no blue M&Ms or whatever. But like you just get through it, and then you have a great show, and you get all this outpouring of support and love from the people
Right.
over here that are in the comments, and it's just it's great. And people like Matthew Odike, he and I didn't really have a big relationship before I got started with this. He started tuning in and just throwing me the wildest questions, like, Ben, is your wife getting worried with the female crowd you're gathering? It's a fair point, Matthew, and that's stuff I
Right.
have to deal with. So anyway, I'm just messing, but yeah,
No, that's cool. I mean, it's like you said, it's a weird time. It's a tough time.
it's weird.
But so honestly, I mean, there is that pretty much what you've been doing as far as managing your stress. I mean, listen,
Like literally
drinking.
drinking, eating, and
Yeah.
smoking. Yes,
Okay.
that's
All right.
literally
That's
what I've
fair.
been doing. But I've also, I have a lot of friends, so I spend nights. It's funny. I talk probably literally. I'm talking in conversation, probably 8 hours a day. And it's kind of like what I do. It's like my therapy. What does a therapist do? Come in, sit on the chair, sit on the couch, talk, right?
Right.
So this is
Right.
my therapy in a way.
Right.
This is me getting shit off my chest that I have to express, and being able to connect with other people and find community. And that's really a beautiful thing for me, and I love these people so much.
I see
What's
that.
what's
And
Vinny
what about,
saying?
oh, Vinny's Valverde. I completely agree, Ben. At the beginning of COVID, I was drinking a lot. I had to focus on myself and completely change the way I'm approaching the stress. Thanks for being vulnerable. So yeah,
Yeah,
I saw a couple comments like that. Mary Beth Nitt said, "Thanks for being honest." I know Kelly Guerin agrees. The honesty is appreciated right now. I think we're all struggling. I mean, I've definitely upped my level of drinking a little bit, but I've also gone a little the other way too. I've tried to, kind of meditate a little bit more. I've
yeah,
started a
yeah.
meditation practice daily, so I'm trying to trying to balance it out as much as I possibly can.
What does that mean? You said you started a meditation practice daily. Like, what does that mean? Because my wife puts on a meditation tonight when we go to sleep, but I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I mean, as you probably know, used to live in the Bay Area and San
Yeah.
Francisco, and for many years. And when I was out there, my wife and I got into yoga a decent amount. And, a part of yoga is meditation. Yoga is moving meditation. Okay. Meditation itself is just trying to be quiet with your thoughts, breathing. And for me, whether that's taken 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes every morning, I really do try to do that every single day if I can. Now, it's not always easy. As you know, I know you've got a 5 and a 2-year-old. I've got an 8 and a 5-year-old. So we've got distractions. We've got challenges. Anyone else piping in you wanted to mention?
Yeah, just the comments are funny. Word of advice: stay true to who you are, but you don't need those stress factors. I love how you like give me contradictory advice, like stay true to who you are, but change. Yeah, okay, I'll take half of that.
Hey, Vinny's talking about Headspace. So Headspace is an app that I have as well, Vinny. So I love that app. I've also got my wife has a platform, as you know, Ben, that is for supporting parents and families.
Whoa, is this a honey? Is this a honey commercial? Did you talk me into a honey space for
No,
moms
no.
in Ferndale, Michigan commercial just now? Oh man, see, I knew there was an angle. I knew there was an angle.
I always got to shout my wife out. I mean, come on.
No, your wife's amazing. Brooke is phenomenal. Brooke's amazing.
I know,
And it's an
she's
amazing
fast,
business.
yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Business.
But there's a yoga teacher on there who does 10 minutes every morning, and it's Facebook Live, and you can play it back if you want to or do it live. So I do that every morning, or as many mornings as I can. Maribeth,
yeah, I do the Calm app too.
Calm app. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. I think that's what my wife does is the Calm app. We hear these ridiculous stories of like, you are now going down a gondola in Venice.
Yeah.
And you hear the wind through the trees, and it's like, okay,
right.
All right.
I think we're resonating with a lot of people. A lot of people are mentioning Headspace, Calm app, Francine, Calm app, Alicia, Headspace.
You know what's crazy is because if we were talking about mortgages and moving, nobody'd be commenting at all.
Exactly.
But when we talk about like people's like day to day and all the stuff that they're going through, it's funny how much more engagement you get, and that's I think part of the chord you've managed to strike with this show, Jason, my host.
Thank you. I always try to get into people's hearts a little bit. That's what I do. But let's transition a little bit about
Sure.
fatherhood. I mean, I mentioned the kids, right? You've got a 5 and a 2-year-old. I've got an 8 and a 5-year-old. So it's a lot. And one of my questions for you is, how has fatherhood played in your ability to be a leader in Relo? What are you learning out there that you take to your job every single day?
You know what? Fatherhood has given me so much context, and it's given me so much context, right? So when I first started as a leader in a company, when I was working for Pods and I was a supervisor, and I was like, 24 years old through 28 years old, right, in management at Pods, right? And I had a team of like, and I was a hard ass, and I was like a stickler, and I was a by the book kind of guy. And people would say, "Oh, my kid's sick, gotta go home, gotta miss a day." I'm like, "Well, you get 4 unexcused absences, or I'm gonna write you up, put you on a final, and then terminate you." And then I couldn't motivate my team because they weren't bought in because I was such a jerk. And then when I had kids, I realized that they weren't using their kids as an excuse, but instead, actually, if I looked at it and I chose to look at it differently, their kids were actually their motivation. And so if I stopped looking at people who have children as people who have children as compromised or less able to be committed to the job, and I started to look at those children and those families as their purpose and their fire and desire in their work to be engaged and to achieve and to reach and to strive, I could tap into a whole nother aspect of them and engage them on a different level. and get so much more out of them. Jason Turner, he was the president of ArcBest, ABF, whatever, I don't know what now, but he said something at a prayer breakfast at AMSA like 5 years ago, and he's like, you basically get 80% out of your employees, right? But the leader who's going to be great is going to get that 110%. But in order to get that discretionary effort and engagement, you have to reach people like in their heart. And so when I had kids, I realized what that heart was about. And I realized the intersectionality of people's personal lives and their professional lives, and that they're inextricably linked, and you have to care for the person at the job but also outside the job, right? Because I mean, the only reason we go to the job is to support our life outside the job, right? And so to answer your question, fatherhood has given me so much context as a leader. It's given me the context I needed to actually do this show, because before
Mm-hmm.
this show, it was just before kids, it was just relo. It was just business. Business is business, right? And business isn't personal. Well, no, it is personal. It's highly personal. And the more successful you are, the more you realize how highly personal business is. So I mean,
Great
that's
question.
me as what kids, you know.
Great question from Alicia. Did you learn patience in Relo and apply it to parenthood, or learning it in parenthood and applying it to Relo?
Parenthood applied to relo for sure, 100%. You learn patience, you learn things about yourself as far as your how selfish you are as a person. When you become a parent, my dad said this, when you become a parent, you instantly learn how selfish you are, because now someone else's life is in your hands, and their
Yep.
needs always 100% of the time come before your needs, right? And
Oh
you
yeah.
don't really learn service to others until you have to serve others or they die. If I ignore this problem over here that's crying, he dies. And that's on me. And that's my heart. And that's my everything. So like, I mean, that's just real talk, right? So when you learn that kind of like level of like just highly engaged servitude, extreme servitude, and then you take that and you could take that same commitment that you have to your kids and your family, and you can attempt to replicate that, and then apply that same thing to your work family, to your relo family, and give in the same type of way or almost as much. I mean, to me, that is the key to success.
That's fantastic. I couldn't agree more. I mean, becoming a parent changed me so much and just made me the explanation you gave about service could not be more true. It is probably the most challenging thing I've done. I mean, what's the most challenging thing you find as a parent? What sticks out in your head?
Challenging. I mean, every day is like hard.
Yeah.
My wife handles the requirements and the stress and the obligation of parenthood better than I do. She's so good at it, and when I come home after pouring my heart and soul out on Love and Relo, busting my butt at work, traveling all over the country and going to conferences and whatever, and then I come home, and then she's like, "All right, they're yours. Been waiting for this moment all day." And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like I'm reeling right now. I'm just like on this emotional roller coaster because I just did the show, and did I meet my quota at work from a sales perspective? Am I going to get furloughed? Am I going to get promoted? I don't even know right now what's going on. And then I come in and it's like, Daddy, and it's like, that's
Yeah.
amazing, but like that's a lot,
Yeah. Yeah.
and now I got to be up for that, and now I got to get rid of the suit, and I got to put on the shorts, and I got to go sneak onto the golf course with my kid and teach him how to putt, and snuggle with my boys and wrestle them and stuff, and like having the energy to do all of that, the energy, having the
Yeah.
energy to do all of that, and the
Right.
mental energy to do all that after I've just given like 110%, is really difficult, and it takes stamina.
Oh man, Katie Lenahan, wait until you give them car keys and wait. Ah, God, Katie, you're freaking me out. I can't even imagine how that's going to be with my 8-year-old. That's going to be crazy.
See, you say car keys, I say date night. Like I see, okay,
Oh,
really? Me and mom can go on the deck and hang out and just reconnect and actually have a relationship? That sounds cool. You know, see the positive.
we had a little. My screen had a little freezing there. I don't know if.
Yeah, I think it might have been me. And so Jason, I don't know how much you watch the show, but When I'm in my home office, my internet is suspect,
Ooh,
and
all right,
so
that's me.
yeah,
That's my
so
fault.
that's when you cue the jokes and you start like, okay, so knock knock, and see what happens.
It's just ad lib a little bit. Well,
Yeah.
hey, let's now that we're kind of on the family kick, I'm just going to continue. I've got a question for you about you and your wife. How'd you guys meet?
Okay.
How'd you propose? Like, tell me the. You got a story for us
So
to
me and
share?
my wife went to college together. I was a club promoter. All right, and I promoted a club called Bogies 518. 518 was this. It was a hip hop club, but they also did some top 40. Anyway,
Wait. You were a promoter?
I was a club promoter. Yeah,
Shocking. That's shocking.
yeah, I was a club promoter. And we like this is back in like '03, '04, '05, and we used Facebook and we used whatever, and I was really good at it. In fact, Albany, SUNY Albany, shout out Go Danes, was like 2003 the number one party school in the country, right? And so like I take a lot of personal pride in that, right? Because I was a part of that. And I was probably the second biggest club promoter. DJ Dave Ali was number one. And so anyway, so I'm running this like a Tuesday night, and we have mutual friends, and she came into my bar, and it was a dead night. She brought her friend Jill, who kind of had a crush on me, from back in class and stuff, from one of my Africana Studies classes. And so I bought them a drink, because they were the only women in the place. So, you want to keep them, right? So I'm like, hey, can I get you a drink or something? Can I make you at home or whatever? And I had known her, and she had known some of my friends and everything. So they hung out, and then they left, and they came back. Anyway, one thing led to another. That's how I met my wife, was in a bar in college. And we dated for probably 7 months in college before we moved together down to Texas from New York. But
Oh yeah. Okay.
I remember calling my dad in May, and I'm standing on the podium I say the podium, that's what we called like the campus center. I was standing in the campus center talking to my dad, and it must have been in May because it was around graduation time. And we started dating, St. Patrick's Day. It was our dating anniversary, and and I remember telling him, I was like, I think she's the one. I think she's the one. I was like,
Wow.
I was like, she has a heart for God, and she doesn't know it. She doesn't know who she is yet because we were just kids. But I could see something in her, and a sensitivity in her, and a support in her, and just like a drive in her, and just she had a willingness to take an adventure, but she didn't have the compass. And I had the vision to take that adventure, but I needed someone by my side because that's how I am. I'm a social person. Like I don't, and like we just like fit like puzzle pieces. And we dated through senior year of college afterwards, and then we moved down to Texas together to live with my mom for like a couple of months until we got our first job. And then it actually was at Pods in the call center, and then we moved out, got our place,
Ah.
and we moved 14 times together. If you count moving out of the dorms that we were in the dorms together in the same dorms,
Wow.
we've moved 14 times since 2005. Yeah,
That's crazy.
she's amazing.
And how'd you propose?
Well,
Do you
you know what's
have
funny
any?
about that was
Are you romantic? I
she
want
went
to.
to
I
New
want to know if you're romantic, man.
well
You
she went to New
consider?
York. How did I propose? Like you want to know like how I did it?
I mean, you don't
How I
have to
did it
give me
wasn't
like.
spectacular. How I did it wasn't spectacular, but I felt like we had been dating since '05, and we got married in 10, and she had moved with me from New York to Texas, Texas to Florida, Florida back to Texas. No, she hadn't moved back to Texas. So we had moved to three states. We had moved to two states together, from New York to Texas and then Florida. And I felt like, hey, I gotta shit or get off the pot here. I got
Right.
to do something, right? I got to make a move. She went to New York, and we were actually kind of in a strange relationship. She was gone one day, and I realized, holy crap, you better lock this down. And it was right when Beyonce's, put a ring on it came out, and all the girls are
Yeah.
doing this, all the time. You remember
Right.
that era, right?
For
And they
sure.
were like, you got to put a ring on it, And I grabbed my buddy Ryan Beal. I went to the mall. I bought the ring, and then I waited a week because she was in New York a week, and I was trying to, and I didn't. I knew I couldn't call her parents and ask permission right away because they would tell her because they're terrible like that. They would just tell her, And so I had to wait until they put her on the plane to come back to Florida. And I called and I called, and they were actually in the emergency room with her sister who had broke her ankle that day playing
What?
soccer. And I couldn't get a hold of them because when you're in the emergency room, you can't have cell phones and whatever. And so I'm literally driving across the causeway to in Florida, going to Tampa, going to pick her up from the airport, trying her dad. I finally get her down on the phone. I'm like, Steve, I love your daughter. She's everything to me. I want to marry her. Do I have your blessing? He's like, of course, Ben. I thought you never asked. Of course.
That's
You,
awesome.
man. And I get her from the airport. I bring her back, and I had like a spread set out. All our favorite drinks and foods and whatever.
Wait, what? You said it wasn't a big deal? Are you kidding?
Well, it wasn't like at a stadium, or it wasn't like, some crazy,
so much
right?
better, in my opinion, man. So much.
Well, it's us. The thing is this about me and my wife, and she knows this, and that's why she's my ride or die forever, right? Is that she knows that like there's people's thoughts of what is right, and there's her and I's understanding of what we are. And she's always known who we are. We've always known who we are. And to us, that was just the most beautiful thing. And so I got on one knee. This is actually funny. I got on one knee, and I'm fiddling with the ring, And they say a woman's most nervous day is her wedding day, but a man's most nervous day is the day he proposes, right? And so I'm getting my ring out. I'm like trying to casually pull it out of my back pocket, and I produce it, and I get on the knee, and I pop it open. And I'm like, honey, I love you, or whatever. I said, I love you so much, and I never want to live without you, whatever. Would you marry me? And you know what she says to me, Jason? She says, I'm crazy, right? And I'm like,
That's
I was
perfect.
I was like, yeah, I know you're crazy. I've dated you for the last 4 years. I know you since you've been in college. Yeah, I know you're crazy. I'm crazy. Like, what's up though? Like, what's the answer? And she's like, kind of hemming and hawing, And I'm like, woman, my knee is falling asleep right now. And, and she's like, finally, yes. And I was like, thank goodness. Because she went to New York and we were kind of in a rocky place, And so she
Right.
comes back in and I hit her with this proposal. And it was for her, it was, it caught her off guard, But best thing.
Wow, that's
She's
beautiful.
She's my number one. She's the most important person in my life.
That's beautiful. Uh-oh, it looks like Ben may have
Anyway, that's
got a little spotty internet going on, Ben. Kind of froze up a little bit. We got the point though. Sounds like a beautiful proposal. Actually, let's answer William Keating's question here. Out of all the places you lived, where do you like the best, and where do you find the perfect spot to be?
Yeah, I think Texas. I think Texas is home for me if I had to pick a spot. That's where I was born.
Cowboys.
I was born in Dallas. I lived there twice since college.
Yeah.
We kept moving back there. My wife has it on her heart at some point maybe to live there again. I think down the road Texas is where it's at for me. It's close to my dad's family, which is in Oklahoma as well. I say New York City is the best city in the country. I say Texas is the best state in the country. Yeah, I just love Texas.
So you kind of see yourself settling down there someday, get into a little. You don't like the Detroit weather, baby? The winters and the deep? Come on, man.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't care about the weather. The weather's just like it was in Albany. The weather, hard weather breeds hard people. I dig the weather, but for me, it's about family. The older I get, the more I appreciate family.
Right.
And then Texas culture is just phenomenal. Like people think, oh, it's the South, or oh, it's country, or oh, it's whatever you want it to be. Texas has like 4 major cities in it. It's tech, it's culture, it's Southern, it's cosmopolitan, it's art, it's food. The food is off the hook. It's amazing companies. It's no state income tax. I mean, there's just Texas is jams.
That's so yeah. Well, hey, I've been to Texas a few times, but I've never really spent a lot of time there. So
Oh gosh,
obviously,
Austin, San Antonio, Dallas. Even some people knock Dallas, but I mean that's home for me. I'm just plugging in my computer right now. If you're wondering what I'm doing.
cool. I mean, look, dude, I need a new football team. So,
hey, you wouldn't even have to change your colors. Just come on over to the Cowboys. Blue and silver's cool with us, and I'll welcome you.
I'm down.
Actually,
I'm done with the Lions, man.
Yeah,
It sucks.
I mean, come on over, man.
We're never going to see a championship here, sadly. Oh man, I have so many questions for you, but I want to see if we
you want to do like a lightning? You want to do like lightning round?
Yeah, you know what? Oh, good call, good call. You know, we're gonna switch it up a little bit.
I've done this before, yeah.
All right, so here's the deal. This is like I stole this from Jimmy Fallon, so bear with me. Did you see the think fast thing? You ever see that? Doesn't matter. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, okay?
Yeah, go.
It's not all going to make sense. Just give me the first thing that comes to your head, okay? There's no right or wrong. You ready?
I'm sure.
Clear your brain. You got some whiskey cobwebs up there, but just get them out. All right. What's your favorite smell in the world?
My favorite smell in the world. First thing that comes to mind is
first thing.
Leather.
Who's your favorite musician?
First thing that comes to mind is, and I'm going to switch. Jay-Z is by far my favorite musician.
Jay-Z. What job would you be terrible at?
Operations.
All right. Why is the sun so hot?
Because it's burning.
Good answer. What's your favorite word that begins with the letter O?
Olivia.
Okay. If you and I were in a band together, what would our name be?
If you and I were in a band together,
Yep.
The Funky Crazy Cool Kids.
All right. What's your favorite comfort food?
Right now, it's chicken piccata.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's banging.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
You know what? Trick question. I don't do karaoke per se often, but I did. You know what? I did 99 Problems in Dallas. That was probably the last karaoke song I did solo.
Would pay to see that.
Was 99 Problems, and I did it unedited, and it was dicey.
Oh, dude, I wish I could.
Be honest with you,
I would totally pay to see that. What's your favorite?
Not to show it.
What's that?
I would pay not to show it.
Oh, well, you wouldn't have a choice. What's your favorite G-rated curse word?
My favorite G-rated curse word is Mylanta.
Okay, I'm not even going to ask a follow-up on that one. If you had to get a tattoo, unless you already have one, what would it be and where would you put it?
I do not have a tattoo, but if I got one, I would put a lot more thought into it than right now. But I'll tell you what, I would probably get God is love. That was actually my senior yearbook quote, is God is love. And I went through a period in my life where I thought it was kind of corny, and it's growing back on me. Obviously, here we are, Love and Reload. God is love, yeah.
Got it. Okay. What are birds made out of?
Carbon.
What was Lady Gaga's first word?
Mama.
It's probably true. How heavy is a duck?
What's that? Say it
How
again.
How heavy is a DUCK duck?
How heavy is a duck? 5 pounds.
I think you might be right. Cool. All right.
Did you actually have an answer for any of these questions?
Nope. I just wanted to get your thought.
How heavy is a duck? All right, we got some other questions.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go to the people.
People to pay off.
LinkedIn user. This is what happened to me. I think it's something about the settings. Your face doesn't show up. Just for future reference, whoever that is, you got to change the settings. Question for Ben. If you could have an overseas assignment, where would you like to go?
Somebody asked me this the other day, and after talking to Stefan Campan, I would say Luxembourg. Because, here's the thing. First of all, my wife wouldn't go anywhere. But I think I might be able to talk her into an English-speaking country. I'm gonna say Luxembourg.
Luxembourg. All right. What else have I missed here?
What up, Rory?
Rory saying hello to everyone from.
Nah, it's a one-time thing, Rory. It's a one-time thing. All right, maybe 2 times. I'm gonna do it tomorrow too. I got 2 of these printed up.
Let's see if I missed anything up here. Not really. Oh, are the kids coming in? I know the kids we were thinking about having a kid appearance. Are they trying to get in there?
They're not knocking. So I don't know if they're coming in.
All right. Cool.
Let's see. We got some more questions coming. You got more questions over there? Hey, do we need more
I've got
questions,
plenty of
Jason?
questions. I got plenty
All
of
right,
questions. So,
hit me.
all right. So listen, I got one thing I've got to say, and this is pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people I think have been affected by you and by the show in a good way. Okay. I had a lot of people IM me question or PM me questions, and as he busts open the bottle, I love it.
I am PM or DM, depends on how old you are.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm older than you. So, first of all, number one, where did you get the desire and energy to encourage others and help others? Because, I mean, you've done a lot for people, and I've gotten a lot of people telling me that.
Yeah, so
Where does that come from?
I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for other people. Okay? One of my biggest pet peeves in life, too, is people saying that God helps those who help themselves. No, that's false. Okay? There was a point in my life where I couldn't feed myself and somebody fed me. Okay? There was a point in life where somebody chose to hire me, right? And thank God they did. There was a point in life where somebody chose to marry me, and thank God they did. Okay? There was a choice where all of you chose to tune in or to befriend me or to show me some act of kindness or to mentor me or to do whatever, and thank God you did. Okay? So for me, where did I get the energy? Like, I feel like I have such an enormous debt of gratitude to pay back that every single day, like, if I'm not paying down my debt, like, what am I doing? I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I feel compelled. I feel absolutely compelled.
That's awesome. I mean, now, do you ever need encouraging or motivating? Like, what do you do in the morning? Do you look in the mirror and do you go, I'm smart enough, I'm strong enough, doggone it,
Uh,
people like me. Stuart Smalley, baby. What do you
great
do in
quote,
the
great
morning,
quote, great quote.
man?
Yeah, all the time I'm in need of encouragement, which is
Who
also
does that
why
for you?
this show does this for me. These people do
Okay.
this for me. Like, these people are beautiful people. Like case in point, just pick one. Hi Ben and Jason, great show. Yo,
Brittany,
thank
yeah.
you, Brittany. I appreciate you so much. You know what? I don't even know if I've ever met Brittany in real life. You know, like
I have, and she's lovely. Hi,
yeah,
Brittany.
I'm sure she is. I've done multiple shows with her. Shelly Bishop, hi Ben and Jason. Ben, love your shirt. Hey, thanks so much. I love you too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, these people are what gives me this, right? Janet, you know, Janet will come to me and she'll
Yeah.
minister to me and just support me, you know.
She
Um,
asked that question, by the way, just so you know. That was a Janet question.
yeah, I
So,
mean, Janet, you do that for me, girl. You know, I love you so much. You know, I want to give you a hug right now. I see your face backstage. You know, I want to give you a hug. You know, I love you so much. You know, my wife to some extent, my dad. You know, I surround myself with people that give me energy, and I'm
mhm.
just so blessed and fortunate, so immensely blessed and
You know
fortunate.
what? Honestly, like doing this with you right now, I'm getting it. Like I am just feeling that
You feel the love,
until
right?
you put the energy in this, like you do. I can see it, man. That's really cool. It's a really cool thing. And speaking of that, I mean, who's your dream interview? Who would you interview if you could pick anyone?
You know, I thought about this before. Dead or alive, and don't say both.
Alive.
Jay Z.
Okay.
Jay Z.
Dead.
Jay Z has been so influential in my life, and so many people aren't going to get this, and they're like, "What the hell are you talking about? He's a rapper. What's the bro?" But the way the man has come from nothing and created an empire around him off of his influence, and then parlayed that into creating opportunity for others, and just I just marvel. I just marvel at the person, and I think it would just be a fantastic interview. I'm a bit of a fan if you can't tell.
All right. Now to flip the script, who would be your dream interviewer besides me, of course? I know this is probably a dream come true today,
Yeah,
but if you could pick someone else, I mean, who would you want
De-
to interview
de-
you besides me, of course?
dead or alive, and you can't say either.
Dead.
My grandmother.
Ah,
My grandmother,
wow.
like, she's in my heart. Like, my grandmother is my heart. Like, she's like the model for everything that I do. she was the most giving person that I've ever, that I've ever known. My grandmother grew up in East Texas and was a sharecropper growing up, and she was obviously impoverished, and started picking cotton when she was 5 years old. She started picking cotton
Wow.
when she was 5 years old. She started picking a man's share of cotton by the time she was 8, which is a 40-pound bag of cotton, which is a lot of freaking cotton if you think about it. And they didn't have anything. I mean, she used to wear flour sacks they made panties out of flour sacks. First time she saw a pair of store bought panties was on a sleepover. I mean, these are the stories she tells, right? And she passed away probably 5 years ago, maybe a little more now. And but she was my heart because even though she started with nothing, she always found something to give.
Mm, wow.
And
Do you,
being a white woman in Texas in the first half of the 20th century, I mean, you didn't have to look out for people, but yet she always would encourage my dad, to donate presents. There was Christmases where they just donated all their presents. They just donated them. The kids in need. My dad grew up. He started doing food drives and toy drives in high school. She would take my dad when he was just in middle school to the projects of Dallas to register black voters. You know, um, questionable,
wow.
questionable decision making, but she did it, and it was good. By God's grace, right? And so when I look at how my grandmother operated, and how she always would petition the city council to keep the neighborhood pool open, even when the neighborhood went the other way, and white flight happened, and she still stuck in the neighborhood. And she always wrote, and supported the kids, and she always believed in people. I mean, she's everything.
Yeah. Brooke said she would be so proud of you, and man, that's so cool. I happy we went there, man. Happy we got to see a little.
Well, she was proud of me before I did any of this, and that's the other thing too, right? It's like, don't be proud of people after they do something. Be proud of people and believe in people before they do something, you know? Because that's what inspires people to do things. So we have to believe in the possibility and the opportunity that people can be amazing and can be great. And we have to water that and just take care of that and cultivate that early on. And
Hmm.
anyway, so I mean she's the best. Moselle Cross. Love my grandmother.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. I'm so happy I got to learn about that today. I mean, I don't know when I would have learned about your grandma, That's really cool. So, I mean, obviously, she has motivated you. It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, to help others, like her heart, the way that she handled herself. I heard this from multiple people too, just from getting messages. What can we do to help you, Ben? I mean, like
Yeah,
you
I'm
are,
here with you. I'm here with you. I just gotta plug in my
you are,
phone back.
that's okay. You are helping so
Yeah.
many people. I think there's a lot of people who want to pay it back to you.
Mm.
I mean, like whether that's business, personal. I mean, like, what do you need from us, man? And sometimes you need support.
I mean, you guys are. If you're watching this right now, you guys are phenomenal, and I appreciate y'all so much. I mean, your presence and you're checking in and watching and tuning in. It's crazy to me. Like people say, how do you do a daily show? And I'm wondering, how do people watch a daily show? I mean, it's wild the amount of time, effort, and attention that y'all give to the show, I'm honored by it on a daily basis. If I had to ask professionally, I mean, I'm in the moving business. I don't ever plug my company. I don't ever
Right.
ask for moves on this show. But I mean, if you wanted to hook me up and say, you know what, I want to do business with a person like this who cares, yeah, I mean, send me some moves. Sure, I'll
There you
take that.
go.
I would
Hey,
love that. Be honored.
question answered. I know a few people ask me that.
Well, it's
So
funny because my bosses, sometimes my bosses will be like, "What is this really getting you? What is this really doing for you?" I'm like, "Who
yeah,
cares? Who cares what it's doing for you? I'm telling you, it's worth it and it matters and it's important. And well, we'll count the money later. Money's just money. We'll count the money later. It's about how many lives can we impact, and how many lives can we change? Because if we can change people's lives, we can change the world. That's what people don't understand. Like, what is the world? The world is people. That's what it is. The world is people. So if we can impact and influence people, we can influence the world. And that's really what I want to do here with Love and Relo, honestly.
That's awesome, man. I mean, dude, I just have such a clear understanding of why you do this now. And it was really one of my biggest curiosities going into this interview, and really why I wanted to dig in and get, like, why is this guy putting so much energy into this? And I get it now. How much do you put into it? Like, what, Janet actually wanted to know, like, how many hours a week?
Well, Janet knows the answer. Janet
She
knows
probably
the
knows.
answer.
She wants the world to know.
She puts as much or more energy into this than I do. I mean, Janet holds me down like ridiculous. I mean, I love her so much. I mean, she's come out and she's pledged. I mean, it's one thing to spend so much energy and be the front man. It's another thing to be the behind the scenes person, and not even probably get the credit that she deserves, but she's there diligently every day in the background. She's there, answering the requests, to be on the show, sending out the questionnaires, scheduling stuff. I mean, Jason, you've gotten a glimpse of this because you're now on the show. So you understand that there's so much scheduling and so much organizing and so much coaching and so much like stuff that goes into this. And frankly, I was telling somebody today this, there could probably be twice as much preparation that goes into this, honestly. And it would be worthwhile. So, I mean, each show probably, there's an hour of live air. There's 15 minutes before. There's probably an average of 15 minutes after. So there's probably an hour and a half of air time, live and off air. And then there's probably another 2 hours of scheduling and recruiting guests. I've got a guy in Romania right now who's working on some video editing. I've got a graphic designer in Turkey right now who came up with the logo. Mark Moose has been phenomenal asset.
Do you put personal funds into this, or
in some cases I put personal funds. In some cases I have people like Mark Moose, and shout out to Mark Moose from MW Relocation Services, who will, I say sponsor. I mean, he doesn't even get credit for it. I mean, he just goes behind the scenes and says, Ben, I believe in what you're doing. I don't care. I just want to help. And he'll bankroll some creative projects or something, or Brian Smith, my buddy, sends me lighting, or Kate DeWall from R&Q sends me a dope condenser microphone, or what I'm saying, like people send me cannolis. I mean, like people just contribute, because I don't know why they do it. It's incredible.
Well, you've kind of expressed how you are as a person and what your motivation is. And I see why. I mean, it's the passion that you bring to the show. So for me, it was eye-opening, honestly. It's huge. So I commend you, brother. I mean, for what you're doing right now.
Sometimes we have sponsors. That'll pay money to get shout outs.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed. You know what? I'm more blessed. Not even that they would pay money to do a shout out, but I'm more blessed that people tell me they get business. They actually get business from being on the show. Not even necessarily sponsors too, but like guests. Like even people that are in the comments start networking with one another. And they start like, hey, Jamie, I see you on here a lot. Oh, hey, I see you on here a lot. Oh, let's connect offline and let's whatever. And then all this stuff starts happening. It's like a little ERC. It's like a little thing that starts going on, and people start getting to know each other, because if I tune in every day, and let's just shout out Francine because I love her, she bought the cannolis, and Francine's commenting every day, Francine's commenting every day, and then Rory, who's awesome, who was a daily check-in, who's coming back to the fold, the prodigal son, love you, Rory, coming back, and then they're like, oh, well, Rory, you comment all the time, oh, Francine, you comment all the time, let's get together and let's have a conversation. I mean, like those types of organic little relationships, like, oh, I like the way you think, you seem like a cool person, let me talk to you, that kind of stuff is amazing, and so people have started to tell me that they're getting business from being on the show, they're getting business from the comments, they're getting business from sponsoring, and that's awesome too. As a business development person who's ultimately responsible for
Yeah.
doing that for my company, like I know how hard it is to differentiate yourself and stand out.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's really cool.
I'm with you, man. All right, I'm gonna kind of jump around a little bit because I have some questions I want to get to
And I've
that
got
people.
time too. I'm not under the gun. So
Okay, me too. I got a little extra time. So, what's your biggest oh crap moment in Relo or your life, like that you were like, oh shit, I wish I could go back.
yeah.
And
Yeah, this is funny. This is a funny story. So my biggest oh shit moment was when I was living in Dallas and I was at my last company and I had formed a company within a company, right? And we did move management and we were Cardis's biggest booking agent, biggest booking mover, 2 summers in a row. And Cardis is big, right? Biggest. And we were just doing big things in June with them. We were taking all the moves nobody else wanted. Anyway, point being is we managed the entire business on a spreadsheet. Our business had grown so fast and so much that we were managing the entire business on a spreadsheet. Okay, and I mean, you talking about a spreadsheet that's like ZZ long, like
wow,
columns, like
that's
just
old
just
school.
every piece of data that you would see in a field in a system, just all the way out, right? And so one day and I mean it had pricing, it had buy price, sell price, margins, customer information, client information, RMC information, the whole thing, right?
Oh
For
no.
every client we were servicing. And I accidentally, you see where I'm going with this,
I see it.
I accidentally sent that to my Cardis contact. The entire fucking spreadsheet.
Oh
And I
no.
sent it and I'm like, oh F. And I didn't
That's
know
a
what to
big
do.
one.
I was shell shocked. I felt like somebody shot me. And I called my operations manager, Monica, and I'm like, Monica, I just freaking sent Cardis the master spreadsheet. The master spreadsheet. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, no shit. I know, right? She's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I hung up with her. I prayed about it. I get a phone call. It's my boss. He's like, Monica told me you sent the master spreadsheet to Curtis. I'm like, what? What? Monica, why?
Oh, she's so good.
She ratted me
Is she
out
here?
to James. Yeah, she ratted me out to my boss. And I'm like, yeah, I know James, man. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. Don't worry, I'm gonna figure this out. And I'm thinking I'm gonna get fired. I'm thinking I need a new job. Like, how am I gonna explain this? Whatever. And so I prayed about it and I had this epiphany that Cardis is the most ethical, like they win the award or they say they win the award. Relogy Cardis, most ethical company in the world or something. Top 10 most ethical companies in the world, something like that. And the week before, my client contact had sent me an email saying, hey, I sent you the attachment in error. Don't open it. I'm resending the new attachment. And I'm like, well, he asked me not to open it. I didn't open it. Let's see if I can play the same card. And I emailed him and I said, hey, sent you the attachment in error. Please don't open it. And he's like, oh, no worries. I hadn't looked at it yet,
Are
And
you kidding me?
I'm like, what? Like, I mean, did he not? I don't know. I mean, if he did, I don't know. But he said he didn't look at it. So I breathed a sigh of relief and, you just got to trust in the
Wow.
goodness of other people and,
That's
as
a
Johnny
that's a
said.
big one. Johnny Marsh, how you doing, Johnny? Takes a
Johnny,
unique personality to put on a daily show and have the charisma to pull it off. You've gained a great deal of respect from your colleagues. Keep on keeping on. That's awesome. Man, I miss seeing all these
I
people.
love you, Johnny. I love you, Johnny. I always give Johnny a big hug. I know,
Yeah,
right?
talking about the hugs. I mean, that's what, that's kind of what this does
I'm gonna
instead
give
of
Johnny a hug.
yeah, I mean, we're such a tight knit community and we hug each other. And I think that's what I miss the most about just seeing people and connecting. So this is another way to do that. This is nice.
They're like
Um,
comment. They're like comment hugs. They're like he
right.
just sent us a comment hug, and it's like Johnny, what's up, brother? How you doing? It's good to see you.
They're
You
giving you
know.
cuts. Um, So, all right, couple other ones. What's your bucket list dream vacation spot?
It's either Italy or Thailand. I think I think Italy with my wife, Tuscany with my wife would just be
Uh,
phenomenal. You know what's so funny
yeah,
about this,
good
right?
call.
Is it this is our 10-year anniversary. Her we have the same anniversary as Joe Dudek. Joe Dudek was married on the same day of the same year, April 10th, 2010. Okay? Your
Oh,
cousin,
wow.
our friend.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, right. And so we just had our 10-year anniversary this year, and I was like, honey, I'm taking you to Italy. I'm taking you to places in Europe. It's gonna be amazing. We've never been outside the country together. I mean, we went to the Bahamas, maybe, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? We had never really been anywhere. And she's like, no, I don't want to go. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to go? She's like, I don't got a passport. I don't know. I don't want to leave my kids. I don't know. And then COVID hits, and Italy's a hot spot, and she's like absolutely 1,000% correct because April in Italy would have been a disaster.
Oh,
Probably
God.
be dead by
Yeah.
now,
Oh,
and
God.
you know what I mean. But she's right. She's got this wisdom about her. She's got this like she like hears from God on things like that. I'm just like, you're crazy. You don't want to go to Italy for your 10-year anniversary and leave the kids with your parents for a week? What are you, stunad? And she's like, she knows, she got this wisdom. Anyway, so point is, Italy with my wife would be the best.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, I have a couple of random would you rather questions I want to throw at you.
Okay.
Don't worry, we're keeping it clean. Would you rather be forced? Would you rather be forced to dance every time you heard music, or forced to sing along to any song you heard?
Well, I think the easy answer is sing. I think dancing though is more expressive. I mean, there's a saying, "Dance like nobody's watching," and I try to apply that to my life. And so I think I'd like to have the courage to dance every time there is music playing.
All
That
right,
person's a lot more fun than the person that sings every time there's a song on.
all right. I got a travel one for you. Would you rather have unlimited first class international tickets to fly, or this is a big one, never have to pay for food again at any restaurant ever?
Well, the food thing is way more practical. Like I said, my wife is she's travel phobic and we got little kids. I would like to have the travel because
Right.
there's going to be a point in my
You'd like
life
the
where I
food.
travel extensively and I go places. And I actually want to bring love. One of my goals this year is to bring Love and Reload to Asia or to Europe. And I think I might
Really?
have a sponsor for that. And I can't talk about it right now, but there's a little teaser for
Did
you.
you write? Did you? Do you have a vision board?
I
How
do
do
have
you
a
goal
vision
set?
board. I do have a vision board. It's in there. It's in that
Yeah,
little wooden credenza right there.
for
Yeah,
real?
for real, for real.
Is
Yeah,
that on there? Is that on your vision board?
yeah. There's three things on that vision board, and that's one of them. Yeah.
What are the other two? Can you share? You don't have to, but it would be cool.
I
If you
told
did.
you no. I told you nothing was off limits. Be self-employed. Go to Asia or Europe, and I forgot what the third is. It's in there though, and it's dope, but I don't remember what it is.
I'm excited to see what it is because that's probably really cool. All right, here's a tough one. Would you rather live without the internet or live without air conditioning and heating?
Well, I'm a big man, and I run hot, so air conditioning is super key for me. But the
Yeah,
internet, my phone, I'm glued to my phone because sometimes I feel like a bad person because of it. I think that heating or air conditioning, I'd have to move, right? I'd have to move because Michigan gets to like -10, and
yeah.
you
I
can live
give you
without the
a,
internet. You can't. You can live without the heating and air conditioning. I guess I would say the internet. Without the internet, gosh, that's tough.
wow. I guess you could go sell. You could go cell phone signal for your show. That would be
Oh,
tough though.
cell signal's an option? Are you kidding me right now?
Well, I said internet. I didn't say. All right, move on.
That's
That's a
a
tough one.
flawed question. That is a flawed
Yeah,
question.
yeah, I
Terrible
tried.
host. Just kidding.
Oh, thank you, sir. Um, I think I've hit. I'm trying to see. Is there any more questions out there that we
Oh, there's some
missed?
good ones. There's some good ones. There's a couple of good ones here. You're my wife. What in the world?
What am I
Hi,
missing?
bring the kids. Bring the kids out.
What am I missing on the questions? Because I don't see.
Yeah, so a couple of questions. Rory says, "What is your dream job outside the relocation
Oh,
industry?"
okay. There you go.
You know what? So this is interesting, right, Rory? Because this is part of an exercise I do with people, right? Talking about like the art of the possible. And all the boys are just going nuts. So cute. Hold on a second.
Gonna get your boys in here. Oh, Ben's taking a little mute break here.
Well, I wanted to see what. I mean,
Hey,
that's real.
this is real life,
Come here,
man.
come here.
What we wanted. We wanted to see.
You want to see this?
Hey, we got the kids.
Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah, you want to see this? Come here, Steven. He's like stomping his foot and just screaming, "Cover his gun."
Oh no.
Come here, buddy. No, he's whatever. All right. Anyway, all right. So so anyway, where were we?
I don't know.
Oh, dream job outside the relocation industry. Yeah. So if somebody said to you, Jason, imagine you could do any job in the world and not fail. What would you do?
Oh wow. It'd have to. I mean, for me, it would have to involve sports.
Sports, right? Athlete. I feel like athlete or entertainer is probably
The GM of the Lions. I mean,
and
not
not fail.
That
To be the
means I'm-
first successful GM.
Yes, that's my answer.
Be the first successful GM of the Lions. That is the best answer to that question I've ever heard in my entire life.
How loved would I be in this town? I mean, that's all people care about. You know, I mean, obviously other things, but that's a big one.
Look at Rory. Look at Rory calling me out like an umpire. He said Ben's looking over his shoulder like he's going to get in trouble for answering hypothetical questions. That's funny. Hey man, the internet is a dangerous place, Rory. Okay. No, for me, I think being an entertainer would be amazing. I think being like either
Jay-Z.
yeah, like Jay-Z, or being like a public speaker, like a Tony Robbins or something. Like I think something like that would be amazing, right? Like it would be so sick to just be able to go on stage and just talk to 60,000 people and leave everybody just feeling differently than they felt when they came in the building. And I think that's just amazing. And yeah, so that would probably be my answer.
How many suits do you own?
That I still fit in? Or total?
No, overall, and then part two, what you fit in. And how many ties?
That part two was foul. You know that, right? Like the math on that was foul. Okay, because the delta is how fat I am is the delta, and that's foul. I probably own like 8 suits that I wear on a regular basis. Probably 5.
Okay, that's solid. How many ties?
Oh,
You must have a lot of ties.
Not like crazy, but like probably like ties, like counting bow ties and like specialty ties. Probably like 40 ties, probably 40, 50. Hey, Danny, come here, buddy. Show me the dinosaur. He's got a dinosaur he wants to show me.
Francine says, take an experiential travel trip with Antimo Camino. Camino?
Hey, Steven, come here.
Pam Metzger. Hi, Pam. I agree. That was so funny.
Come here.
The crying baby.
Oh, you want to see the perpetrator?
Hey, there he is.
This is Steven.
What's up, Steven?
Steven, he can't hear you. Wait, maybe he can hear you if I would give him one of these earbuds.
Hey, Steven, do you love your daddy?
You love Daddy?
Do you love your daddy? He's confused.
He's like, what does that have to do with my current state of affairs?
He's like,
why are you changing the? He's like, why are you changing the subject?
What's the dinosaur's name?
You don't know. He's 2 years
Can't
old.
get him to talk.
He just turned 2.
All right.
He's big as a 4-year-old, but he's turned 2 just now. He's a beast.
He's so cute.
Kissy? Got a kissy?
Well, everyone, this has been in the raw. I'm happy we got the family involved in a little bit here.
You want to see Danny? You want to see his brother?
Yeah, let's see the brother.
Come here. Show him your dinosaur, buddy. Come here.
Danny.
Hold on. Let's see. You want to hear the,
Hey, Danny.
sound? Can you
Danny,
hear
I'm
him?
Jason. Do you remember me? I met you before.
He can hear you. You want to say hi?
Oh, not anymore.
You want to say hi to him? No? Hi. You want to say hi?
Ask him what his dinosaur's name is.
What's your dinosaur's name? What's the dinosaur's name? He just got this one too.
Wow, camera shy.
All right. See you later, buddy. We'll go golfing later.
Okay? That's going to take a while to work.
Yeah. Oh, are we gonna do water balloons? We're not doing water balloons. Right. He got those water balloons, like the 100 water balloons.
Oh yeah.
Get out of here with that. Like who
with
hates
a slip
me?
and slide. That's
slip and slide is one thing, okay, but like who hates me here? All right.
Yeah, cleaning those up are not fun.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and I want to see what other questions came up in the beginning here because people were coming on pretty hot with them.
I didn't see any that I missed.
People are saying you look great. My kids are wild. My kids are so wild.
I'm scrolling too here.
Oh, Tyler Burns just DM'd me from Aaron.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, please.
Alicia, I forgot to ask you this one. She wanted to know, have you ever had an international client recommend a cocktail from their native country? If so, what was it?
No, I don't have enough international clients. I wish I had more. No,
See, that's what we could do to help Ben. International clients.
Yeah, give me more international clients. Well, Mark Moose and his Pernod and milk. I want to say it's milk that he drinks it with. I don't even know. It's like it's a weird drink. Love you, Mark. That's weird. And then
what is it? Pernod and milk.
Pernod, which is really a knockoff absinthe, by the way. It's absinthe without the fun stuff in it, without the oil of wormwood, but it's like a licorice kind of a liqueur. And then I think they put it in with milk or they put it in with water and it turns cloudy white. Anyway, point being is it's crazy. And then the cachaça, with the caipirinhas and whatnot. But yeah. So I mean, not really.
Oh, Dano! Did you see Dano?
Yeah, Dano, giving Quicken a shout out.
Quick add loads. Oh God.
Yo, Dano. Yo, props to Dano. Yo, love you, man. I don't know if you're still watching or not, but Dano's one of those dudes that'll take me aside at an ERC and just like pull me aside, just get in my face. And he's got this preacher's finger. He'll get in my face because he preaches sometimes, and he'll just be like, he'll see my soul. And he'll just talk to me, and I love him for that, and anyway, I just love him for that, man. I spent the ERC in Atlanta sober. I didn't drink for the whole ERC, and I
was with you. Remember we had lunch that day.
Yes, we did. At that amazing Thai Asian fusion place.
That was my pick.
Yeah, incredible. And Dano he was just talking to me, and it was just amazing.
He's awesome.
The people in this industry who choose for some reason or another, and this is I believe God's grace on my life, have chosen to pour themselves into me. When, to your point earlier, like what's in it for them, I don't even know, but they pull me aside and they just pour themselves into me. And so I've benefited from as being the receptacle and the receiver of this knowledge and this wisdom and this grace and this favor and this like people just caring about me so much and it's just just incredible. I'm humbled by it all. I really am.
That's awesome. One thing I never got into with you, and I know you talk about this on your show, or you have talked about it, is your journey into Relo, because I know you love hearing other people's journeys. So if you want to give maybe like a Cliff's Notes version of your journey.
Yeah, I mean, super short, right? Is like I went to work for Pods in the call center, and then I got moved out to Clearwater like 5 months later with my wife, my girlfriend at the time, my wife now. And I toiled in the call center for a while, and then it wasn't until I went to the corporate development department where I became a corporate accounts manager that I got exposed to GSA accounts and to RMCs and corporations and everything that were using Pods at the time. And that's when I started to understand, wait, there's companies They pay for employees to move, and they do it a lot of times. Oh, wow, that's really interesting. And then flash forward, I was at 1-800-PACK-RAT, Pod's biggest competitor, and I started, basically they said, okay, you have to do $1.5 million your first year or else you're fired, right? People hate salespeople, but they would hate salespeople's lives if they understood the deal, right? Do 1.5, you're fired year one. And oh, by the way, our containers cost $150. So oh, by the way, that's 1,000 containers, like 10,000 containers. I don't know. Somebody do the math. I think it's 10,000 containers. And so it's like, oh, okay. So like now I have to like sell 10,000 containers. Well, that's a lot of doors to knock on. And so I said, well, hey, what if I instead of selling 10,000 $150 containers, what if I sold, a 1,000, $1,500 long distance moves.
Right.
Right. And he's like, I don't care. Fine. Do whatever you got to do. Just hit your numbers and get out of my office. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I'm like, well, who buys 1,000 moves a year? And then I went to these RMCs and I said, hey, I got the next best thing since sliced bread. And they gave me an audience, thank God. And I still remember my first client. My first client was Tom Colucci at MSI up in New Hampshire, Mobility Solutions International.
Sure.
Shout out to Tim Runyon. Shout out to the team there. Shout out to Lori DeLong. Point being is, like, I still remember the first person that gave me that audience, that opportunity, that contract. And, it's just, anyway, it's just.
You didn't go to school for Relo, like a degree. A degree.
No, you know what? I was. My degree. What was your major in college?
Or organizational communication.
That sounds like some bullshit. Organizational communication.
And a minor in business.
Hey, that you know what that is? Hey, everybody, gather around.
Exactly.
That's an organizational communication. Hey, everybody, gather around. You know what mine was?
No.
No idea. No, you don't.
PT.
It was what?
PT.
Yeah. PT. Yeah.
I know you tore your Achilles like me, so
I did. We are Achilles brothers.
Yes, we are.
My major, I had a double major. I had English was my major. English, not English literature, not English composition, just English.
Just English.
The whole spectrum of the language. And Africana Studies. I had a double major. Yeah.
Wow.
Africana Studies. And people in my family were like, what the hell are you going to do with either of those? And I was like,
get in the moving business, of course.
I said, you just wait and see, because I got this. And it's weird because it's like, why the heck do things happen in your life? But I also feel like they prepare us for the next thing that's going to happen in our life if we are doing it right.
Right.
And I find myself with a daily talk show in the relocation industry. I find us in a state of racial turmoil in America right now. And people try to make sense of it all. And this has been a fun show, but tomorrow's show might even be a more important show.
What you got tomorrow?
We got Hosea Botley from Averso Global Relocations. We've got Andrew Jackson from Warner Media. And we're talking about race and diversity in the relocation business.
Wow. That's definitely tune in for that one.
You know what I'm saying? So I just hope I can provide a platform for people, and so.
I think, yeah. So I feel like we should probably wrap this up. I mean, I think that I just want to say it's been an honor to have a chance to get inside Ben Cross's head a little bit, his life, to learn a little bit more about what makes him tick. I hope I did a good job. I hope I did you justice. Hope we had a little fun. I hope, everything, I think we got a little emotional. We got some humor going. So
you're the first person that made me cry, Jason. You know that? You're the first person that actually made me cry on camera.
When you cry on camera, it's a good interview. But, shout out to Janet Turner for helping, get me prepped for this. Thank you for everyone who watched Love and Relo. I think we're just really proud of you, Ben. We want to support you any way we can. And thank you for taking the time. So have a great day. day, everybody. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and let's have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you having me.
You're welcome,
Thanks
man.
so much.
Thank you.